All right. Hello, tea family. How are you this evening? I have a question for you. When you hear the words apple, cinnamon, and fall, what is the very first thing that comes to mind? Go ahead, put it in the chat or the comments. Whoa, but it looks like I'm not live right now on Facebook. Am I live on Facebook now? Edit. Save changes. Oh, remove. You gotta love it. Thanks for bearing with me, everybody. I am going to try and add Facebook back on, but life is always interesting. We are gonna try this again and see if I can go live on Facebook, and we'll find out in a minute. But then I'm gonna ask those questions again. So I'm glad you're thinking. All right, I should be live on Facebook now as well. Hello, tea family. I have a question for you. When you hear the words apple, cinnamon, and fall, what is the very first thing that comes to mind? I'll give you another second or two. Those joining us on YouTube and other channels have an extra second to think about that before while Facebook did its crazy little thing that it did. Do you think about apple pie, apple cider, cinnamon rolls? Maybe just sitting outside on a fall morning or evening with a warm drink in your hands. So for me, those flavors are all about autumn. Today, though, we're going to do something a little different. We're not quite in autumn yet. I don't want to be in autumn yet. I'm still trying to enjoy my summer. But we are going to be talking about our very first fall blend that we ever created. So that's right. We created this was when we wanted to create a fall or autumn blend. This was the very first one we came up with for that season. And I'm going to show it to you now. You may or may not know. There we go. Now that it's dropping on my laptop, that's always fun. This is appealing. It is a black tea with cinnamon and freeze-dried apples. Now we use Macintosh apples, and so I'm going to go ahead and brew some of this up while we are waiting. Oh, and this is one I do want to show you. So we are in the process of starting to make these. So we do it 1 quart at a time. This is definitely one you're going to want to roll because the apple is lighter than the tea. And so you definitely need to roll it before you add it. Otherwise, you're going to get all the apple and then you'll get all the cinnamon and tea. And because we have freeze-dried fruit in here, you're going to want a rounded spoon. You still want that 2.5 grams, but it's going to be like a rounded teaspoon for that. All right, black tea. So we're boiling water. This is the scariest part of the live because I pour boiling water right near my face. Okay, and we're going to start. Oh. And we're going to start with our brand new, actually it's not, cancel it on my phone. It's a timer that we got from my mom's house that she used to have. So we're going to set this timer, 3 minutes for a black tea. And then we'll see what sound that makes. All right, meanwhile, I'm going to need this spoon later. I promise I'm going to need this spoon later. So what is your answer? I don't see them, but then again, my stuff got a little bit messed up. So today I wanted to do something a little bit different. I wanted to make this tea and talk about it because Appealing officially is available a week from tomorrow. That's right, September is in just over a week. Actually, if you think about today being a Monday, next Monday is August 31st, and then we're in September. So, oh wow. But what happens when we take these familiar fall flavors and we put them in a loose leaf tea? Well, we get a very, very popular blend. We make quite a bit of Appealing. It is extremely popular. I know it is our friend Kendra's absolute favorite tea blend of ours. But one of the reasons why we freeze dry that apple ourselves is so that we can get that absolute best apple flavor at the same time as it's not going to mold or anything because it's been freeze dried as opposed to dehydrated. But I want to talk about this tea because it really has way more possibilities than you would expect. And I'm going to talk about something that may surprise you. This isn't a tea that I think you only drink in a teacup. I've been doing a lot with this tea as an ingredient. This is definitely a tea blend you can cook with. It can make cold drinks, it can make hot drinks, something you can use for when you're entertaining. And then there's a little treat, something even more unusual for you, maybe, that you're going to want to stick around and see because we're going to do the taste test right here. But so let me know, what is your ultimate favorite fall flavor? I know I asked this last week, but not everybody answered. Is it apple, pumpkin, cinnamon, maple, caramel, cranberry, something different? I like to get kind of in on that. And it also gets us starting to think about fall. So let's take a closer look. This is one of those blends where you absolutely can see what's in your cup. This is a Keemun black tea with cinnamon, and this is freeze-dried apple. And the cool thing about it is you can just pick up the piece of apple and eat it. I know a lot of people, after they've brewed it the 3 times and they're going to dump it out, they will literally pick the fruit out, like my handy dandy assistant will, and he'll pop it in his mouth and eat it. And you can do that because there's no additives or preservatives or anything. All right, we are all set. And there you go. 3 brews for this one. That bowl's so good. Okay, look at that color. So beautiful. It's really hot to drink right now, so I'm not going to do that. But very versatile as well. The black tea really cements the apple cinnamon flavors, and that is one of the great things about it. But I want to talk about Keemun for a minute. It is one of the classic black teas, typically from China. But one of the things I really love about Keemun is that it can have these absolutely lovely, deeper, wine-like, malty characteristics that have a hint of both smokiness and fruitiness, depending on which Keemun tea and where you're getting it from. And that's one of the reasons why I absolutely love it, because it brings that slightly smoky, not even a true smokiness, but that really tiny layer of it in with the fruity nature. So that brings out the apple and the cinnamon and gives them something to kind of play against, but also really gives us those campfires in fall kind of a feeling. Now, you don't have to be a tea expert to appreciate that. One of the things I really did when I was making this blend was I really went for the balance of the ingredients, and I wanted each one to be able to contribute and each one to be able to bring out their own flavor and their own character in the depth. That's one of the things when we create these tea blends is we want to make sure that it's not just about making something that smells wonderful and tastes good. Yes, that's true. It's true. Those are definitely things we want. But a really good tea blend needs to have some sort of balance. There's got to be aroma, flavor, mouthfeel, strength. What happens to the flavors after you brew them? What happens after you brew them the second time and the third time? What happens if you cold brew? What happens if you do a moon tea or a counter tea? And sometimes you really find that some of the flavors that work on the first brew don't work as well on that second brew or that third brew, or they don't work really well if they've brewed it cold and do a cold brew. So that is why we always want to test and really find and wait until the blend balances well in all those circumstances. Okay. So you've seen what happens as we brew it. It is really delicious. It is one of my favorite teas. This is definitely one I look forward to myself. I typically don't drink the teas out of season, FYI. I know people have asked me that before. Yes, I could make any of them at any point in the year. I do typically stick to what is available to everyone at that point. But that is one of those fun things that people don't always understand. Is like, I get to drink this a little early because I'm talking about it for you, but not every. I don't typically drink appealing at a season. And even now, appealing really still feels kind of like fall to me. I'm drinking it hot here. Obviously, it's a tea, but I'm getting that apple and the cinnamon and playing up that little piece of apple that I have in my mouth as well, bringing a little extra burst. It's so nice. But uh, one of the things that I wanted to talk about is, this is the traditional black tea. This could pair with so many different foods and so many different things, but I wanted to have you think about it a little bit differently. This is a tea that you could use in a lot of your cooking. Now, how would I do that? This would be amazing to put in a spice cake. Now, how would you do that? Well, if there's any kind of liquid, you can steep the tea in the liquid, drain it, and then use it. Now, when you do that, you always want to add more tea because you want to make it stronger because the flavor has to disseminate through the whole thing. So if in your spice cake you are using a buttermilk or a milk, steep the tea, warm the milk just below a simmer so that it doesn't go bad, and steep the tea at a stronger, and then drain it, and then add your liquid in like that. You could just add the tea right into the food that you were baking or the baked good. You can do it that way. There's a lot of different ways to do that. I don't necessarily crush everything up, but I might sprinkle it in there. I like to steep the tea in something, in a butter, in a milk, in a cream, in something on that idea so that I'm getting the flavor that way. Okay. Don't overthink it. So that is how we would put it in there. And you could do muffins, an apple cinnamon muffin with a little bit of the tea brewed in it as well. You're going to bring out some way more complex flavors. But you could also do it in a cheesecake. You could also do it in a cookie. There's so many different ways. But another thing that you may not have thought about is a barbecue. This would be great with a barbecue. You're going to have the maltiness and kind of that hint of smokiness from the Keemun. You're going to have the apple for the sweetness. And a lot of times people will smoke and grill when they do that sort of thing with an apple smoked wood. They're using apple wood to get that flavoring in, and that's going to bring it out even more. And then the cinnamon is just an amazing spice overall. So obviously you could eat this with apple pie or pumpkin pie. That's always fun. But I really think barbecue is a definitely way to go. And also, I've talked about the smokiness, the sweetness, the spice. But you could also turn this into a barbecue sauce. You could use some brown sugar or molasses, some vinegar, some tomato sauce or tomato products, and mustard. I know that there are ways that you can turn ketchup into barbecue sauce, and all you would have to do is brew this in something that is a liquid for a bit. And that's one of the things that's going to add all those flavors in. So if you've ever paired tea with cookies, or let me rephrase that. If you've only ever paired tea and cookies, you're totally missing out, because tea with barbecue just is amazing. An appealing tea or any of our black teas, that added to either your barbecue sauce when you make it or your rub on the meat and getting those flavors in, that may be just one of the most fun experiments for you to try this fall, because the results are uncanny. Now, apple appealing and cheese, especially cheeses that have a little sharpness or a little nuttiness, those are excellent. The tea is going to give it kind of another flavor. Oatmeal, French toast, pancakes, waffles, if we move into the breakfast. Apple muffins, granola is another one. And granola is one of those things that you wouldn't necessarily need to do anything other than add it to some of the granola. I made granola for my handy dandy assistant who's helping today. This morning I should have added some appealing in it. But I wanted to do something completely different today. And so if my handy dandy assistant will go get it, I will be putting a video out, probably won't happen tomorrow. By the end of the week, there'll be a video of where I show all the steps on how to do this, but I created a different dessert with this appealing tea. And here you go. Anybody want to guess what it is? Guesses. All right, well, let's open it up and find out. Oh, darn, a little bit on the top. This is appealing ice cream. That's right, we turned it into ice cream. And so how did I do that? I took 1 cup of the milk that I brewed it warm, again, keeping it just below the simmering point. I brewed it up, I drained it, I added in, then I put in let it cool, eventually refrigerated it, add the other ingredients in. This one I did a little different though. I didn't use sugar in it. I used a little bit of maple syrup to give it kind of a mapley flavor, really making it a kind of an apple maple appealing ice cream. And then, of course, we put it in the ice cream maker, and then I added a little bit of our freeze-dried apple into it right then and there. I did not hydrate it first or anything like that. I added in there, which is why you can see little bits of apple right there. So, all right, here's the judgment call. Wow, the apple piece has completely hydrated. I get the tea ice cream. Part of the ice cream almost reminds me of like a coffee, but it's tea, which is really nice. Let's see. And this is in the soft serve stage because we didn't get it in their freezer fast enough. But I get that apple and the cinnamon and the tea, the appealing tea and ice cream part, and then it finishes with the maple, which is really good. In fact, don't tell anybody. I don't need to add sugar and milk to my tea right now. I could just add this. Now, what would I pair this ice cream with? Well, first of all, it's ice cream. I'll put this right on the cone and absolutely eat it. You could put this on an apple pie, a pumpkin pie. Oh my goodness, this is so good. You could put it under whipped cream. You put it under whipped cream. That's true. You could put it under whipped cream. The other thing I would say that you could do with it is going to be a little bit unusual, but spice cake. You make a spice cake and then you put the ice cream on the spice cake as opposed to a frosting. Absolutely recommend. All right, I guess I could let my handy dandy assistant have a spoonful. Yay! Let him just have this much, maybe. Maybe. This much? What? He really likes taking the whole thing, doesn't he? It is soft serve. It is soft serve. It's a good thing we made enough so there's another couple of those, although I have them hidden away so he can't find them right away. But that's something you can do. And then anything you would eat with ice cream, any of your fall things, any of your fall desserts. Oh, a dark chocolate mousse with a little bit of this on top as opposed to whipped cream. Barbecued ribs, have this as the dessert after you've eaten the barbecued ribs. Absolutely. Turkey sandwich. Yes, that would go. I would eat the turkey sandwich and then I would eat that ice cream. But this kind of tea, this tea blend and the ice cream that we made, the maple appealing ice cream, both really great combinations. Now, we made the ice cream, anything you would use it in milk, you would use as milk. You could always use the ice cream like I did here. I just added a little bit in. You saw about a heaping teaspoon of the ice cream, added it in, and now I have a little bit of sweetness. Now, I did not add a lot of maple syrup because I did not want an overly sweet ice cream, but you could add, and you could always go with a regular sugar or a maple sugar. Either way, it's going to pair extremely well. So more ways to enjoy a peeling tea. If you don't want to make ice cream, I mean, it's still summer. I'm still trying to focus on summer, but obviously you can drink it hot. But iced, this is a great one where you brew it up in the morning and then you cool it down, brew it, put any sweeteners in it that you're going to want, and then chill it and then pour it over ice, ideally ice that you've made by using the second or third brew of your tea. You're going to have a completely different layered end of the day experience. Tea latte, especially, brew the tea a little stronger, add the steamed milk. And this is one where instead of a regular sugar, I would definitely say try the maple sugar or, a cane sugar or a maple syrup instead. An apple cinnamon mocktail. So one of the things that I did was I did try this. And then I drank it all and forgot to buy new ingredients to do it. But I took some of the tea. I brewed it extra strong. I added not lemon, but I added 2 tablespoons of orange juice. I added about a tablespoon of maple syrup. And you could substitute honey if you were. I would like an orange blossom honey would be perfect. And then I added cinnamon extract to get kind of that bitters flavor into it, and then stir that up and add some sparkling water in there if you would like. So that's what I would do for a mocktail, just quick, easy, enjoyable. If you're creating a cocktail, obviously adjust your mocktail recipe. So I would say that is something for you to consider. The other thing is, I would put that ice cream over cinnamon rolls. It just dawned on me. Cinnamon rolls would be really, really great with that. But I want to talk a little bit about next week and what's going to happen. We're going to do something a little different. I'm not going to be live. What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to record it. I have some place that I need to be. And so I'm going to record it, and then I'm going to play during our regular live time. It is highly unusual for me to have to do something on a Monday night, but it does occasionally happen. And so rather than skip a Monday night, that's what we're going to be doing. So I still want you to answer the questions. I still want you to comment and in the comments or chat, depending on how you're watching us, and say hello and let me know what you're drinking. We still want to do all the same things. However, I won't be live. I will be a pre-recorded that will be coming out at that point in time. And I would say that I'm not going to publicize it. But if you happen to watch all the way through to here, you're going to get an extra little thing. Next Monday, if you comment, you have to do 2 things. You have to comment on the video of some sort, say hello, let me know what you're drinking, anything like that. I will send anyone who does that a message with a coupon code for a discount on a peeling that will be good for that first week that it comes out. So I will send that off to you. So if you comment somehow on the thing, and then if you want, I will give you a coupon code, and then you can use that coupon code to go ahead and order some appealing and get the discount. And the discount will only be on the appealing blend. All right, I don't see any other questions as everybody has popped in, but that's okay. I want to say thanks for joining me. I really appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed talking about appealing and you were at least surprised by the ice cream that is delicious and that my handy dandy assistant has already consumed that entire container's worth, but that's okay. All right, it's gone. All right, well, good thing I have more. All right. Thanks for joining me, everybody. I look forward to seeing you next week. Don't forget about the coupon and commenting. And you have a great week, everybody. We'll see you later.